Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first I watched 1978's Halloween. Then I watched 1981's Halloween 2. So now I've watched 1982's Halloween 3, Season of My Sister. What? Oh! Season of the Witch! Not my sister. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Okay, this is often touted as the most hated of all the Halloween films. Why? Because Michael Myers is not in it. No masked psychopath trying to penetrate young girls in this particular movie. And in fact, there is a reference to the first film being a film within the movie. So it's like it does exist. This is a film that says, no. The first and second Halloween are fiction, and this film is not. This is our world. So what's happened here is that they've created a science fiction horror film that happens to take train. That happens to take place on Halloween. So what happens is this train will not shut up. You done? You done, train? Okay. So what happens in this film is this man carrying this mask winds up at a hospital. And he's sick. And the doctor is trying to take care of him. And somebody comes in, kills the man. So the man's daughter and the doctor team up to get together and find out why this guy was killed and who killed him. Because it's weird. And I can't tell you anything else without spoiling the plot. But just understand this. This film is sort of kind of set in the future from 1982 because it refers to the first Halloween film as a classic. And in the 80s, you wouldn't have called something a classic for being 4 years old. So it's somewhat implied that it is the future, not perhaps the distant future, but, perhaps 10 years after the first film. So things have gotten a little more advanced. And this is supported by the fact that in the beginning of this film, you see a computer graphic of a jack-o'-lantern. And that train is annoying. And the jack-o'-lantern, at the time, that would have been really, really advanced. Because God, Train. Seriously, Train? I wish you were a victim in a horror movie. Anyway, so, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to hear about a train derailing tomorrow. Anyway, so this is sort of the thing. You have to think of this as kind of retro sci-fi. Now, I believe the gentleman's name is Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins there, I don't know if there's any relation to Rowan Atkins, but Tom Atkins is a horror movie veteran. He was in Night of the Creeps and a bunch of other horror movies that I've never heard of. So here he is, an extreme B-list actor, but a noted name in horror, coming out and playing the title or main, there's no title character, but the main character in a Halloween film. And then you have Dan O'Hurley, I think it is, who plays the exact same 90s, 80s, somethingers businessman as he plays in RoboCop. So he's the same businessman in RoboCop, only what happens is that he has run away from the town where he had a toy factory and founded OCP. So really, when you think about it, Halloween 3 is really the prequel to RoboCop. That's what I took away from this film. Halloween 3 is a prequel to RoboCop. No. Here's the thing. Halloween 3 is not as good as Halloween or Halloween 2. It is not as good as Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. But it is a good horror movie in its own right. It just really doesn't fit with the pre-existing mythos. What it appears they tried to do was they said, why don't we just have horror movies centering around Halloween that night, as opposed to this character. Because if you've got a horror movie centering around a day, or a character, but it's named after a day. So then what is this character doing the whole time? This may have been a criticism of Friday the 13th. Or it may not have. I don't know. I wasn't really terribly cognitive in the early 80s, being as when this film came out I was 2 years old. But that's kind of beside the point. So like I say, is this a good movie? Yeah. It's better than The Darkness. It's better than The Boy. Or The Forest. Or most movies that are just The Something. You know? So is this a good movie? Yeah, it's an okay. It's not a wonderful movie, but it's a pretty solid horror film. It is a lot better than a lot of other horror films. It is particularly gory. There are some spectacular makeup effects in this film. And you know what? It is a really enjoyable movie. It is not as good as the first two films, but it holds up really well. I mean, if you compare this to, for example, Aliens, the Aliens franchise, I would say it holds up a lot better than Alien 3. So, just take it into that context. This is a movie, dust it off for Halloween, watch it during Halloween, and enjoy it. And just, that song is really catchy, 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Down in the comments below, maybe leave a like while you're down there, or subscribe. I'm Richard Neal.